I'm just gathering parts for the rebuild of the XV535 engine. I've bought 4 brand new studs for the cylinder heads for the exhausts. I also got the exhaust gaskets, the copper rings, and these 2 are the ones that go to the cylinder head directly, and that one's for what Yamaha actually call the link pipe, but I call it the manifold. And so this one goes between the manifold and the exhaust pipe itself on the rear block. Just staying on the subject of gasket material, I bought this 1.5mm, I think it is, thick, sort of corky type DIY gasket stuff, and I'm using this for the inlet manifolds. So this is the shell bearing, or the plain bearing, that goes on the end of the crank on the left side case, where the stator goes through, and I just needed the one side really. The one on the other end seemed absolutely fine, so didn't see any sense in replacing both. And by far the most expensive thing I've had to lash out on is this, which is 50 quid's worth of all the case gaskets. So you've got the head gaskets, all the side cases, all of these O-rings and things that go around various bits and bobs, barrels, and like where the cover on the what do you call it, the middle gear goes, and the actual output to the drive shaft itself. You can even see these 2 exhaust gaskets there, look. So and it also comes with valve stem seals too. I'm not sure if you can see them there. Not the most troublesome part, but equally I think with the manifold bolts that were stuck was that big old 9cm long bolt that ran through both cases, holding the foot pegs and brake and gear changer pedals, the bracket that held the bolt that I had to cut through. I completely forgot about this. I bought some new exhaust wrap. I had to discard the other wrap because I had to remove it to get to the bolts holding the rear exhaust onto the manifold on the rear. Not that it did me any favours, because I sheared the heads off anyway. That was the whole point of re-drilling those manifolds. And I thought I'd replace it with this nice bronze, and it will go better I think, because the side covers are brown and you've got a plain steel coloured tank. Now I don't want to make a big meal of this, but it is just cleaning and reassembling all of the parts that you see in front of you here, leaving the cases. Anyway, time to crack on and get this thing all cleaned up, put back together, and back in the bike. Right, we are going to make ourselves a parts washer. So, I've got myself a regular, just a fish tank pump. I think it's 300 litres per hour maximum. You can turn it down. And regular Clark parts washer brush, so at least that's something that's fit for purpose. And a Jubilee clip, which I just robbed off the bike, which I shall put back when I put the bike all back together. So I'm going to stick that to that, stick it in there, find something to make a little shelf. Job's a good one. Yeah. I'm wondering if I should cut that end off actually. Maybe there. Right. Don't know if you can see that. It's narrower. Yeah. And it's a really good push fit. If I stick the clip over the end, that should hold it firm, stop it blowing off when I turn the pump on. What these things are like. That's me pretending to wash parts. I wouldn't be surprised if people don't give this a big thumbs down, but I'm really happy with this. It's twice the size and half the price of a shop bought one. It'll do the job. I'll be able to get those big engine cases in there, and it's going to do me a treat. Well chuffed. Right, I just thought I'd test this thing before I go putting loads of parts washer fluid in my new, well, homemade parts washer, just to make sure flow rate's all good and everything. So bucket of water, electricity, safety crocs with golden. Oh, that'll do the job. Well, I've cleaned all the cases up now. You can see they're all pretty well ready to go back together. This is the right side case. I took off that little, I don't know what it is, some sort of splash guard muffler, something like that. I took that off, and so much gloop behind it. I cleaned all the bearings out, and everything's been air blasted and heat gunned dry, so it's all fine. Jetted out all the galleries and just making sure everything's completely clear. Obviously looking at the inside of the cases, this is the left side case, and just the same, all clear, blasted out all the galleries with air after I washed and cleaned everything. I spent quite a lot of time with these cases in the parts washer. All the bearings turn freely, it's all fine. And really the whole point of this video was to see if we could find, well, aside from cleaning the cases and so on, was to see if we could find any damage and any more metal floating around in the engine, which actually I found when I sluiced out the parts washer actually. So just sat next to that 10mm 1/4 inch socket, just for reference. It looks like, just on very close inspection, like it's some broken off ring connector for a wire or something, but where that would have come from I don't know, how that would have got in the engine. And the only damage I've found to the engine is aluminium so far, in terms of I can see some wear on the cases that is a definite wear pattern. The damage I found on the casing itself, where you can see some aluminium wear, is right up there. I'll see if I can just spin you around to have a little look. If I put a torch behind it, There you go. That's not a deliberate feature. I'll just put my little pick through it. Mind the wrong part, hang on. There you go, you can see. So you can see from this angle, so this is the middle gear, so that's the end of the output shaft, the other side. So that rotates nice and freely, and it meshes with this gear here, which goes to final drive. So that little hole that we've just seen, now clearly that's not factory, it's not a gallery or anything like that, it's definitely not deliberate. Not unless it is designed to have oil thrown up there and just lubricate this gear, but I doubt it, because there's nothing really up here that's, you know, nothing being fed up here right at the top of the engine. It's not on a gallery run or anything like that, so oil is not meant to be deliberately coming through there, and it doesn't look machined, it looks worn. And it could have been caused by the rotation of this tooth, simply because the distance between this tooth and this plate here, including the shims that go round, is 33mm, and that hole I've just measured is 33mm from there to the face of the case. So it looks like a little bit of free play in this bearing in here might have caused that, but not really done any harm, because this is sealed with an O-ring anyway, nothing's going to come out. This is sealed, the case on here, with an O-ring, so it's all contained anyway. Certainly I've had a good look at this, and there doesn't seem to be any free play or wobble in it, so I don't know, not sure, but I'm just saying that possibly could have been the source of the aluminium. We just don't know. Well, that is it for this video. I've done pretty much everything I can now in terms of cleaning it and getting it ready to reassemble. So in the next video, the first thing I'm going to do is just press the new plain bearing in. So that's the bearing on the end of the crank on the stator side on the left case. It goes just in there, and get that all lined up. I've got a 6-ton press, I've got the new bearing, so that's the next job to get on with. And then I can just inspect, clean the crank or the transmission, get that back in and get the cases together. I've got some black sealant for these cases, because they are of course side cases that come together, don't have a specific gasket. So that's the next job in the next video, and once I've done that, then it will just be moving on to getting all the externals cleaned and reassembled, and I'll be inspecting them as I go to see if I can see any damage or wear. I don't think I will be finding anything else, to be perfectly honest, because I had a good look at everything when I took it all apart, but you never know, as I clean everything it might just reveal a little bit more than I've seen so far. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you like these types of videos. If you do, please do leave a comment. If you don't, please do leave a comment, but don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next video.